Consider yourself lucky if your mind becomes fed up with worldly objects. The slaves of the belly cannot have the glimpse of God. Truly blessed is the one who is completely desireless. Always remember that we are from the abode of God, entitled to enjoy the nectar of immortality. We are but visitors to this foreign town, that is this illusory life, for just a few days. The only instrument for liberation is the state of desirelessness. The question you ask is, how can Brahman, the ultimate reality, which is intellectually understood, be truly experienced? But Brahman is not new. It has always existed. It is self-existent. You are that Brahman. It is due to ignorance that one becomes deluded by worldly life. You must get over this delusion. When the mind becomes desireless and remains so, it is Brahman. One who constantly craves after sense objects is immersed in those objects. And one who meditates on the self becomes the self. One who has understood themselves does not need anything, nor do they wish to possess anything. Drop the desire to pursue sense objects. Do not say, "I will meditate later. I will do it sometime later." You should constantly meditate, contemplate, and let your mind dwell on the self with a great love for it. This is the sign of self-attainment. This knowledge, jnana, is such that it cannot be understood by merely describing it. To tell someone that sugar is sweet does not enable one to experience its sweetness. One must eat it. The ultimate reality can be understood only by experiencing it. And this is possible only by the grace of the Sadguru. Only in the right fertile land, the mind of the seeker, can the grace of the Master come to fruition. One who is a seeker of their own self reaps the fruits of the blessings of the Master. One who understands themselves really understands, and by self-knowledge is liberated. Beingness means consciousness or knowledge. The mind attending to other things is what is meant by bondage. The mind, when not attending to anything else, is Brahman. When there is no thinking about the objects in the mind is clean. It is still. That is the state of Brahman. When you are happily asleep, it is natural joy, or Brahman without any emotion, which does not have any state or attitude. It is you who is the knower of the entire world, the body, the mind, and the sense organs. That you is the Supreme Self, the Param Atman. To realize Paramatman is the final achievement. This knowing is itself a mystery. The hope that is hidden deep in the innermost layers of your heart and mind is only illusion. Illusion puts a veil on the self. If you aspire to be with God, discard illusion. In order to remove delusion, one can take help of the concept of the pride, I am Brahman. Although you may have understood about Brahman, you remain proud of domestic life. To destroy the pride associated with the body, you can take the help of the pride, I am Brahman. However, if you can succeed in getting over pride without the help of the pride of Brahman, the concept, then it is preferable that you proceed without it. One may have a tendency to believe that once Brahman is understood, concepts are eliminated. This is untrue, because there is no relation between Brahman and concepts. They are distinctly apart. It entirely depends upon an individual whether or not to form concepts. Whatever may be the nature of the concept, it can either bind or liberate. It is equally untrue to believe that once Brahman is understood, concepts are formed. It is up to the aspirant to get the clear understanding of Brahman. Therefore, Brahman is described as non-conceptual. the Master says, the state of Brahman, or ultimate reality, is a non-conceptual state. If you follow the advice of the Master and put this into practice, you can easily be in the state of spontaneous samadhi. Those who know that the self is neither bound nor liberated are truly liberated, while those who claim superiority due to pride effectively kill their own self. Once it is understood, the pride of ignorance, as well as that of knowledge, is untrue. Everything is seen as untrue. It is all only illusion. The one who realizes this is no longer affected by it. The feelings of bondage and liberation are associated only with the gross body and not with one's true nature. One's true nature alone is pure and untainted. The feeling I am arises in it. This feeling of I am is ego in its first and purest form. Later, it is tainted with the pride associated with the body. Understand that these are both only different forms of ego. Liberation and bondage are both expressions of the ego. Only one who recognizes this ego can be truly realized. As is our pride, so are our actions. Saying that I am liberated is to remain in bondage. One can drown even in the shallowest water of illusion by tying on an anchor in the form of the pride of liberation.